Alright, welcome to episode 49 of History Rewritten. In the last episode we had lots of independences for countries in the Caribbean and stuff. Most of that is decolonized, except for like Puerto Rico and eastern Cuba. Had more tensions heating up in the Cold War between these guys, which is a lot of the world. And probably some other stuff that I'm forgetting. However, that was basically it. Probably had a war over here. It's like 5 days ago. I can't remember that far back. Independent countries over here and all around South America. And today we're going to have even more independence, as we're in like the early 1960s at this point. So we're going to get quite a lot. So I might want to start on that, but also, do you want to do Cold War or do you want to do this? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Let's do Cold War stuff. Right, so, yeah, I've got some fun stuff to do with the Cold War, actually. Basically, at the end of the last episode, there were 3 more countries who wanted to develop nuclear, atomic. Basically, and eventually they'll work out how to make nuclear bombs, which cause radiation and stuff. The bombs they currently have, just like, leave your shadows burned into the ground. So yeah, it'd be fine to use these, to just destroy an entire load of people, and just be really horrible to do. But it wouldn't have any huge implications on the world. I mean, when I do introduce the radiation bombs, they're not going to be like, well, everyone dies of radiation. At least, probably not. I've not planned that far ahead, so I don't think so. Anyway, one of these countries is the UK, and they've finally developed their own nuclear explosion atomic bomb thing. So, they've developed one of those, and they're pretty close to developing another, because they've got a lot of resources around their empire, and they're just a very rich country. One of the other countries was the Korean country. They wanted to develop some, and they finally made one. And the other country who wanted to develop an atomic bomb was the Arabic Union. Now, over this time, whilst countries have been developing atomic bombs, we've had the other ones develop a lot more. So at the moment, the Green Team has 4, China's got 2, and Russia's got 1. Well, after this, the Green Team are now up to 7. China's all the way up to 5. Actually, the Green Team might be on more than 7. But on 9. And Russia's all the way up to 5 also. Got the UK, they're now on 2. The Arabic Union, I'm writing this all down so I don't forget it. The Arabic Union is now also on 4, and then Korea, unfortunately, is still on 1. But yeah, no, they're getting there. Obviously, the Green Team has the biggest nuclear arsenal, biggest arsenal of these weapons, but they did develop them first. China is, well, the rate that they can make them pales in comparison to these guys. The Russians are quickly going to develop more than the Chinese, because the Green Team's got over double the amount of atomic bombs. So basically, if the Green Team and the Russia got into a war, and the Russia, then they could destroy this city, and this one, and this one, and this one. And I mean, yeah, Russia would probably nuke their capital city. But, you're going to be absolutely obliterated, and it's freezing cold where you are, so, yeah. Not sure that's going to be a load of fun. The Arabic Union, they are developing them very quickly. They've got lots of stuff from the UK, because they've been kind of helping them a lot. Because they're very good friends, and they funded the Arabic Union to get back to being an empire. That's kind of what they did. However, the Russians are not happy with them. The Green Team, Crete and Greece have been helping them as well, but they're not close to developing any atomic bombs because they don't really want to. The Arabic Union is moving a lot closer to these guys rather than their old allies over here in India, or that sort of area. We have the Koreans kind of working on it by themselves. I mean, of course, I might have said this, but I might have also not said this. Sakhalin has left the alliance with Baikal and the Koreans. I don't think I did say that. So it's just Baikal and Korea, so they're kind of working together. But they do have the help of Sakhalin. It's just Sakhalin is not their ally anymore. So if they got into a war, Sakhalin wouldn't come and defend them, probably. I mean, they might. but they wouldn't be obligated to. Although we might fix that problem sometime in today's episode. But Baikal's been working a lot because there's a lot of resources that be useful in this sort of Siberian area, so that's good for Korea. I mean, also, like, I'm pretty sure there's some useful stuff over here, and that's about all their colonies, really. Not much stuff going on there that I think would be too useful. I don't really know. I'm not a specialist on Japan, so who knows. But these guys, they've got lots of nuclear threats going between each other. And, well, maybe not lots of nuclear threats, but they're both going to go and look, I've got loads of nuclear bombs. I wouldn't invade me if I were you. But there's a lot of tensions between these countries. The Black Sea is a really tricky area. The Crimeans are having lots of trouble with the Cretans, because Crete's kind of checking every single ship from the Crimea that goes through the Aegean and the Bosphorus, just because they don't trust them now. Their relations have got really bad, and it's just really hard to be in this area. Thrace is also suffering a lot, and Crimea is even thinking about reaching over to the Yellow Team as an ally. I mean, this is how bad it's got. But speaking of how bad it's got, let's have a look at a country where it's got really bad. That country being, of course, this country. As I said before, they were a rebellion during the plague. It was a union between, well, kind of like a union of two different groups of people. It was the Caucasian country that was like here in Caucasia, and the Red Team that isn't here anymore, but kind of is. And their capital's still here. Anyway, these guys were a union between those two things. So ever since the Russians and the Arabs have been doing this Cold War, they've been really been torn apart, and it's all going to end up going terribly today, as the two groups will officially split. So we have two different rebel groups appearing within the country. Give me a second to just make up some colours for you. That's good. This is the Arabic-backed one. As for the non-Arabic-backed one, you can have this colour. I'm sorry if these are really similar. I'll try and change it. Also, I think I changed the colour of the water at the end of the last episode, so I don't know if that looks alright. Anyway, both these places really want to get the capital. These guys are being funded. Like the Russians are allowed to go through here because they need them. However, these guys are kind of a bit worried, because you know there's a huge rebel group on your borders, and the brown country, this brown country, and this one, the brown countries I suppose, are going to both invade this brown team on their border, and the Russians are going to go, hey, do not do that. Under no circumstances did I ever say invade the allied country that I just kind of made, because these guys, they could be our friends, you know. They've got very similar views to what we've got. So don't do that. And the brown country is forced to not invade them. The push towards the capital is getting even worse, and lots of people like the British, you know, the people who run a load of stuff. It's a bit like our actual history, where the UK kind of just went, no, don't do that. It's like you can fight something you're really weak and then stop fighting, because, yeah, I want my money. So, yeah. And as these areas are closed down, these two groups start to fight each other along their borders and stuff, because it's basically one huge front line. They're going to try and work out a peace deal in this area, so damn it. It's going to be a very interesting one, with some stuff that we've actually never had before, because we're going to get some cool things today. Not really that cool, really. It's a bit sad. Bit sad, actually. I need help. I need serious help. Right, so we have the division of these two areas. We have group number 1, the red team group, getting territory like this. Actually, let's give them some more territory than just this. Let's give them that. And group number 2 can receive the remainder, except for this area in the north over here, because this will be made into a sort of like city-state thing. So we have that, and the rest of this is just kept. So it's a bit more than city-state. But these two states both emerge from this, and they're under the sphere of influence of the Arabic Union and Russia, respectively. And it's kind of obvious who's under which sphere. So let's do that. Actually, no, it would be the city, wouldn't it? Because that's where the rebellion came from. Alright, so these guys are kind of friendly with this Caucasian group of countries. And this one, it's just split. You know, they kind of went, right, just don't fight anymore. So, they're pretty divided. However, there's lots of people trolling the area and saying, I'm sorry, Mr. City-State, that you are the smallest country to ever existed, I think. But stop fighting. However, there is more fighting possibly going to start. Over here in the Balkans in Eastern Europe, is a huge mess. I mean, they left it kind of in a mess because we had all this thing, and then we had to partition up this thing. It was a bit more than that. It was loads of territories in Greece and Crimea and stuff. But yeah, it became a huge mess. And with lots of spheres of influence conflicting ones. I mean, we also have these guys. The sludge team's actually now Russia's friend. But lots of these countries really hate each other. So let's look at some of the key rivalries in this area. The red team and the orange team really dislike each other. The yellow team and the red team hate each other. The yellow team in this country hate each other. Great. We also have the Swiss in this country hate each other. The Swiss in the other Swiss country hate each other. This Swiss country is actually kind of Austria at this point. It's a very funny looking Austria. Anyway. And the Salmon Nation kind of just hates lots of people. They kind of hate all of these guys. But yeah, I mean, they're not really pleased with being under a Russian aligned movement thing. Lots of people aren't. However, you know, they did just put in some influence stuff. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Sphere of influence, that kind of thing. Put in this stuff saying, right, you're going to be my friend. So they had to be. But it's very possible war could break out in the Balkans, and it could even bring in some of these more powerful countries, which is very scary for lots of people around the world. Anyway, speaking of more things going on and around the world, let's look at decolonization, shall we? So we don't really have any more over in this sort of Caribbean area or in Central America. Why did I do this to Central America? I don't know. It's so many countries, so much potential for war. That's what I'm really thinking. Anyway, but the Yucatan will finally be receiving their independence. They're good friends with Jamaica, so it makes a lot of sense. And here we go. Color change. That was crazy. I might actually be able to tell they're independent. Actually, I should probably make this color slightly more clear. How to do that? I don't know. I don't know what to do. Yucatan, what do you want to do? I want to make it kind of red, but I don't know. We can do this, I suppose. Yeah, there you go, Yucatan. Alright, so the Yucatan Peninsula has received its independence. Great. Not sure what else can be really said for that. More British decolonization, I suppose. And there's an updated map of the Caribbean Sea. These colonies will probably get their independence very soon. And speaking of colonies getting their independence in this area, we will actually see one get their independence. And it's this colony. The brown team neglected... The brown team? It's just because they're brown. The Terracotta Nation neglected them loads. And finally they've been given their independence. They're a very important colony, which is... I mean, they weren't really that important. They made money. You know, there's a lot of people living here, made money. It's not as important as the Australian one, which is why they still have the Australian one. But it's still pretty important, but now they're an independent country, and they've actually stayed entirely together. So that's cool. Moving down to this area, no more decolonization here, but in this country, we do have some, so that's exciting. Well, this country, this giant colony, I mean. It's huge, a South American thing. So we have this region breakaway, and we also have this huge sort of Chilean Andean. Well, these lakes, is that Lake Titicaca? I think that might be the Peruvian one. That's such a weird name for a lake. Anyway, I'm annoyed at this line here. Right, it's annoying. because I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, let's give these guys some independence, shall we? That's bizarre. Alright, so that's your... That is exceptionally dark. Crikey. Let's not make it that color then. That's basically black. I kind of think it's blue, but I don't know if I do. That's a very strange sentence. It's not really. It's really not that strange. I don't know what I'm talking about, to be honest. And it's slightly insane. That wasn't the color, was it? I mean, fine, I'll go for that color. But there we go. Here's our 3 new countries in this area. It's slowly decolonizing. You know, they have this huge decolonization thing because the blue team said if you want to get back in our alliance, you're going to have to decolonize. So they're working on it. They're getting there. Just they're not quite finished with it yet. So the colony is a lot smaller because they've given independence to a lot of countries. And I suppose we'll revisit it in the next episode. Brazil would really love their independence, and they might get completely divided though, but yeah, it's still going to be a collection of pretty powerful states, and they would really love to receive some independence. Anyway, hey, let's... Oh, sorry, I was drinking water. Let's hear something that you expected to happen in today's episode. Me lying to you. I'm really good at that. Anyway, what was I lying to you about today? The Galapagos. Yeah. I really want to do the... What's the Swedish translation for the Galapagos? I actually might try and find that out. Because, yeah, the Swedish are giving independence to the Galapagos Islands, because I like that idea. Moving across to Africa, I don't know what that was. Yeah, I'm really musical in it. Sorry, I'm trying. English to Swedish. English to Russian now works. It doesn't, but I just change it to Swedish. Swedish. That's not. Swedish does not start with a Z. Galapagos. Google Translate said it was Galapagos. I'm sorry, guys. That was a huge letdown there. And I'm sad now. Google Translate failed me. Anyway, more terracotta nation decolonization. What was that sentence? Right, we have them giving independence to this large block of stuff. And also another large block of stuff. This one. Alright, nice. Great. State number 1. And for state number 2, what do we want to do? There we go. Anyway, I need to mark down these colours because I remembered I do actually need to remember these. Because if I don't, I'll be annoyed at myself. Because I did that before with one of our countries. It was like weird lakey one. I think I eventually refound the colour that I chose for them, but yeah, oopsie daisy. What are you? Oh, it's that one. Yucatan. Sorry about this, guys. Sorry, guys. Anyway, as for their capitals, your capital is going to be by this bay sort of area in the north of your country, right over here, and your capital can be over here. Now let's move it. We're going to put it over here. And the remnants are just this bit. This is still a very important colony of theirs. You know, they founded this sort of South African colony a very long time ago, so it makes sense. Anyway, over to another country. We have this one, which is the Swedish colony. They will be giving independence to this one. This is a very dark blue, but oh well. Deal with it, I suppose. So there's area number 1. Yep, very dark blue. Oh well. Area number 2. Looks something like this. I'm sorry, this is probably not ranges. And area number 3, let's make it this color. Alright, cool. 3 new nations in this sort of Mozambique, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, that random strip, I don't remember what it's called. It's the Namibian one. It's probably actually not in this, maybe. Who knows? So your capital will be right up here in the north. Your capital, you don't have a city on the coast. That's depressing. You're probably pretty poor. And your capital can be over there, in the north. Moving eastwards, we have this thing over here. This greenish colony. What do we want to do with it? I was gonna make it grey, but we've already made a grey country now. Ah well, still room for more grey countries. What a lovely colour, grey. Oh well, I like the colour grey. It's alright. It's alright. Yeah. I think I'm just not right in the head, to be honest. This video has just been a huge show that I'm not right in the head. There were lots of very unhappy Irish people over the independence of this colony because, yeah, it was all about diamonds. Diamonds and gold and mining lots of things. And it's really hurt a lot of businessmen with the independence of this country. So unfortunately, we have a large part of this breaking away. And it's effectively just a business-controlled country. Which is strange. So yep, it's going to be here. Their capital will be right on this area. But yeah, it's just controlled by Irish businessmen. Very bizarre. But there you go. Moving up north, we have more articles of decolonization for this country. Also, let's just add this in. I'm wondering how many countries we're going to actually give independence today. Might be more than I think. Quite possibly would be. So you guys have nothing in the interior of your country, even though it's relatively okay here. Great. There's going to be some really poor people over there. And there probably will actually be, because I'm going to make that into a country for some horrible reason. I don't know. Just apparently I'm a terrible person. So that's new. There you go. Sorry, mate. There you go. And as for you, let's make it that colour. There you go. Africa actually looks pretty interesting. It's made a lot of new countries, and it's got potential for lots of interesting wars. Great. And scenarios, not just wars, but also lots of wars. I don't know where your capital is going to be, pink country, and there's not really any decidable area. I'm going to choose here. Your capital can be right over there, and your capital is going to be over, damn it, there. This country is not decolonizing yet. The Norwegian colony is not decolonizing yet. It's just one other area within Africa, which is going to be this area. I'm going to change all these cities back. So it's the Ethiopian country. They've returned. They've returned. It's the Ethiopians. They've returned. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be really good at voice acting, aren't I? No, I should stop. Also, why would that be voice acting? It's like, yes, I'm the voice of Ethiopia. I've returned. No, I just short thought. Anyway, so Ethiopia's back. The Greeks have finally decolonized fully, actually. They've got rid of their one colony within Greece. Crete has not, and that is because the Arabic Union's kind of like, don't decolonize. But the movements here were a lot bigger than the ones in this country, mainly because a load of this hasn't really been inhabited very much. So they kind of just go like, well, you guys don't really care. But I mean, the coastal areas do. But oh well. Also, I just realized I've drawn these borders without many straight lines. There's like one down here, and that was unintentional. Damn it! I forgot about doing that, so I might have to fix these borders again after this episode. I just looked at this country and went, oh yeah, I was meant to be doing that, wasn't I? So, a few things might change with these countries. I'm sorry, I feel like it's something you've got to do. You probably don't really. It's probably a bit unkind. Anyway, I don't know how many more countries I want to give independence. I need to give quite a few countries independence in my plan, so this is very difficult. I don't know what I want to do now, because I can't remember what's in these cards. You might have to give me a sec. Back in a minute. I'm back. That took a while. We've had a lot of new independent countries, apparently, which is true. We have had a lot of new independent countries. And we're going to be leaving Africa to go make some more independent countries. Actually, we might return to Africa there. Not for independence, I don't think. Maybe. But I don't think so. All of these new independent countries are, like, look at all this independent African stuff. So a lot of possibilities. Oh, and I suppose these guys as well. I forgot about them. Lots of possibilities. But who would like to see some more independence? You? Quite possibly. I think so. Anyway, let's get down to doing that then. On your screen to 70. So, in a movement that does not spread from Borneo, though I choose Borneo to start with, in a movement that spreads from Catalonia in their huge decolonization campaign. I mean, they're not avid to be decolonizing, but they are doing it, and that's what matters. As they give independence to the Philippines, their colony within this region, a lot of other Indonesian sort of area colonies, Southeast Asian colonies will be going, you know what, I'd like to get some independence too. And with the very liberal, I mean, is that a way to describe them? I mean, kind of. Istrian country, they're going to be giving their colony independence, and the Norwegian wants independence. And pretty quickly, this entire area is going to be decolonized. So exciting. I'm about to do that. First off, the Filipino capital, or South Filipino capital, is going to be right here on this island. Let's do Borneo next, just because I have the colour right here. Nothing changed. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, it's the same colour, damn. It is not the same colour as the old Borneo, it's just slightly different. Anyway, so the Philippines going along to Istria. I don't know what I'm talking about. The Istrians will allow this colony to get some sort of independence thing. I don't know which colour to make them though. That's the problem. Do this. We could do that. That's a bit dark. I don't know. There's too many options. I don't know what to do. Leave me alone. This might just work. By Jove. Oh, that's good enough. I've made a lot of blue countries today. Mostly dark blue. I've made a lot of dark blue countries today. I don't know if that's a good thing. I made an awful lot of them though. This one is going to be very dark blue, which might make it hard to see certain things. So that's great. I might have to change some of these colours. I might actually just change yours. Right now. There you go. Slightly easier to see. Probably not really that much. Anyway, you're going to be putting your capital, because I said so, on this island over here, which is the island of Timor. You're relatively easy. We're just going to make you yellow. And Norway, you can put your, or Java, I suppose. Java, you can put your capital over there. That was easy enough. I like it when it's easy. There we go. Moving on to some other colonies now. Oh yes, Sakhalin's about to say, we're going to be decolonizing. The Istrians, they decolonize because, you know, they're very liberal. They're like, oh, I like the people and stuff. So when the people said, oh, I want to decolonize, like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you do that. I don't mind. Why are these islands grey? What is that about? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. It's Sakhalin over here will be decolonizing, which is exciting. So we're going to be having this great lakes decolonized. Civilisation will be getting their independence, and they're like, right, guys, we're fully decolonized now. So Sakhalin is very excited about that. They're fully decolonized. I mean, just look at them. This map, you can see, fully decolonized. No more colonies left in the world. They're literally the first colony to fully decolonize. I mean, like, Alaska, northern Japan. Are they really colonies, though? Yeah, they are. They are, actually. So, you kind of need to get rid of those, but they're saying, no, it's an integral part of our country. It's not actually a colony. We like warm water ports. Don't take northern Japan away from us. But I think you're going to lose it, mate, I'm afraid. So, yeah. We'll see how much longer that can go on for. Probably a while, though. Anyway, independence for Sulawesi, so that's exciting. Let's add this in. Let's also add this. As for Sumatra, well, that didn't do anything, did it? No, it didn't. You can be purple. I like the idea of a purple Sumatra. There we go, so this huge colony has now received its independence and might split sometime because it's not very stable. The British are very unhappy about losing Sumatra because it's really good for controlling the Strait of Malacca, but also the Strait of Malacca is about to become its own country, so I wouldn't worry about that. As in, like, the Irish are going to give independence to all of this as well. So yeah, the French already gave independence to their bit, which is encouraging, kind of. And, yep. Ireland will be doing their thing. What will their thing look like? I don't know. There's that, and it's also not going to stay together, because why would it? We have this northern region, and in the south there is another region. Your capital will need to do that as well. Which kind of looks a bit like this. But this is the mainly trade orientated region, whilst the northern bit is more just like where the people live, and like stuff actually happens. So yeah, let's have a go at them, shall we? They're going to put their capital down the south here, obviously not very pleased about losing stuff. The Sumatran capital is going to be up in the north, and your capital will be placed, I don't know, let's say this city over here. So that it's mostly decolonized, it's just this one left. Great. It's going to be a really difficult one, because in my plans I made this really complicated for some reason. Well, actually I just like the idea of how it looked in my plans. I didn't draw it or anything, but I have an idea, and that's not part of my idea. So it's going to have to do some stuff. Because when I look at Papua New Guinea, I see a dragon. And you know what? I wanted to make it like the parts of a dragon. So I made it like this. I'm sorry if I'm not coherent at this point. Here's a Lisbon. Not very strong at all, actually. You look like that. We get our southern section, which will look like this. and we have a northern bit, which I think can just look like this, and the remainder of the country will go and look like this. There we go. As for these other remaining colonies around here, like the Irish ones, they're not going to get their independence yet. They probably will sometime very soon, but not yet. Capitals are all these places. Your capital will be going right over here. Your capital is going to be over here. Your capital in your early major city, which is right in the middle of a jungle, and your capital can be over here. Great. And hopefully our final decolonizations of the day. You know, decolonizing can be so difficult. Yeah. That looks good enough. As the Koreans have now given up all their final remaining colonies. Actually, they've just remembered something else I need to do. Great. And now time for the Irish to give up some stuff, and they don't. No, they don't worry. That would be a twist. That's horrible. That's far too garish. I don't like it at all. Take it away. I don't like it. And we're done with this bit. We just need to do the final section of stuff. Crikey, it's taking a while. I'm befuddled. I don't know what to do. I'm not talking very well, and it's annoying me. I'm annoyed at myself now. Oh well, so there's the Irish calling it independent, and let's put your capital somewhere. It feels like I should have dedicated an entire episode to doing these independences, which I was not expecting to feel like I should do, but I probably should have done. I probably should have just made this episode Independence episode. That would have been a pretty good idea. But anyway, most of Southeast Asia is now decolonized. We just have a few more bits of Asia to do. I mean, there's Southeast Asia. Haven't had many wars in this episode. I'm sorry about that. I'll try and fix that in the next episode. You know what, we can do that in the next one. I think I might end it here though. I didn't really stress the nuclear problems that are going on. But there's lots of nuclear problems, and there's lots more states for the Green Team to take control of. Because the Green Team, they are moving around their nuclear bombs or their atomic bombs. And if you're in this mintish coloured nation, down here in the south, we've got possibly some in here, or here, probably, definitely some in here, probably one in there, and definitely one over here. Most of them are going to be over there, but we've got 9, so, is it 1, 2, 3? Yeah, I'd say there's about 2 here, 1 here, and then 4 in the actual Green Team. Anyway, I think I might leave it here for today's episode. This felt more taxing on me than it probably was on you. Lots of colours, really. Crikey. The map looks so different, it's going to be really tricky to find all these colours, I think. But, oh well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and like, subscribe. I will see you again next time, I hope. Episode 50, which I hope will be quite a good one. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice rest of your day. Goodbye.